folks, JD here, and today we've got this. This is the TKKJ L603. That's quite a mouthful. This has been recommended to us by Telephony. Cheers for that, buddy. Okay, let's open this up and have a little look and see what we've got on the inside. Right, so we've got two boxes in this. They should just pull out. One that has the transmitter in, one that has the drone in. Oh, three boxes. And one that has the accessories. Now, I have already been out, I have already flown this, so everything isn't going to be tied down, but it was tied down extremely well when I had this. So let's open this up, let's take all these out, let's move the boxes out of the way. Okay, let's first of all take a little look at this. And it's quite SEMA X56W-esque. It looks quite nice. It has quite a nice front to it as well. A very Mavic Pro styling to this. Very flat, nice little colorations to the top, on and off button directly to the top as well. But what else does it have? Okay, so let's have a little look and see. So right off the bat, you can see there's a camera at the front here. It's a 0.3 megapixel camera. We've got two LEDs to the front here. Directly to the back, just right at the front here, we have a little on and off button. As we work our way back, we just have quite nice styling. That's all. There's nothing in this at all, just quite nice styling. Then we have, underneath, we have the battery, which pulls out here. It's a 3.7 volt, 850 milliamp hour battery. That should give you a flight time of between 8 to 9 minutes, and a charging time of about 100 minutes, approximately. Then underneath we have our optical flow sensor. So this is a tiny little camera, a little tiny little lens under here that has a little look and sees exactly where it is you're flying. That mixed in with the barometer built into it. So the barometer keeps your altitude, this keeps you stable. That's quite literally it. As soon as you find that your altitude is set, then and once the optical flow sensor is reading correctly, you should find the quadcopter doesn't move as long as there's not a lot of high winds. So it should be like a GPS copter in so much that it keeps its altitude and it keeps nice and straight and nice and flat. Then we have our camera module here with the Wi-Fi antenna sticking out the back. You can replace this by the look of it. Two screws to the front and it looks like the whole module just pops off quite nice and simply. We have four landing sprigs. These are just foam filled landing sprigs, so we have plastic stands and then foam in the top here. Looks like if you are landing it on concrete, obviously this is just foam, it is going to just rip straight through, so have a little look and be very careful when you do end up taking this out, because you are going to find these will rip. If you're on grass like myself, you should be fine with no issues. Now, as this is folding, how do you get these out? Are there any buttons to push? Are they locked in place? Well, they are locked in place exactly as they are, but there is no buttons to push whatsoever. So you just pull out the arms. Now, you have got tiny little screws here on each of the propeller arms. I would ensure before you take it out that these are done up nice and tight, because there are no locking mechanisms. So the slightest push and these will move back in. Now, I say slightest push, it is going to take a little bit to do it, but as you can see, it's not really that much in order to get it to move. So you can get it to move quite easily, so just ensure that all these screws here on the propeller arms are all screwed up nice and tight before you take her out. And that is what she looks like. She looks really quite nice. I think that is going to be quite a nice little flyer. So your control distance from the transmitter is 80 meters approximately, and from your app, just using Wi-Fi, is about 30 meters approximately. I wouldn't say that you'd get 30 meters out of this. Not at all. I would say you're more inclined to get 10 to 15 at a push. Now, the weight. How much does she weigh? So what I'm going to do for this, because I've only got small scales, I'm going to just move her all back in, fold her down. So with the battery, this is the flying weight. The flying weight comes in at 159 grams, so it's under the 250 gram weight restrictions. So you should be absolutely fine there without just flying this exactly as you are. No license or FAA or CAA registration is required. Right, so that's the transmitter. Looks quite, that's the quadcopter. Looks quite nice. This camera on the underside, have a little look at that. It looks quite fisheye, but it looks quite a nice little module, almost quite racer-esque, very bare minimum. You can move it around. You do have some quite good angles of movement from practically underneath the quadcopter right the way to looking straight in front. I quite like that. Right, let's have a little look at this transmitter. Okay, this looks quite nice. This feels quite nice. It looks almost see-through, but it's not. That's quite a nice sort of shade of black on there. So we have got lots of buttons at the top here. We've got our standard left and right analog stick. We have our on and off button. This transmitter doesn't beep, but it does vibrate. Now I thought that is absolutely fantastic, and when I flew this I thought it was so refreshing not to have some transmitter screaming in your ear with lots of beeps. What does this beep mean? Oh, I've got 3 beeps. What does that mean? This just vibrates. So every time you click a button, it vibrates. Every time it takes off and lands, it vibrates. When you do a 360 flip, it vibrates. Speed mode change, it vibrates. It's really, really, really nice. Now, this transmitter is nice as well, nicely sized. You can get all of your fingers all over the buttons at the top here and on the analog sticks, and you have full movement as well as hitting the on and off button without having to take your hands off or take your fingers off in any way. That is quite nice. Now, at the top here, you have also got these functions from the app should you want to fly with the app, but you have record video, take photo, 360 flip, low and high speed modes, then you have headless mode, and you have emergency stop. So emergency stop, when you click it, it is just going to fall directly out of the sky. No problems there whatsoever. The motor's just cut out and it does just fall down. You also have your 2 antennas here as well. And directly to the back, this is where you fit your FPV boom. Now if I just go inside this accessory box for a second and see exactly what we've got. So we have got 4 propeller guards should you want to fit them. You also have, oh that's quite nice, okay. So you have a camera cover, so you can just pop this camera cover directly on the front of the quadcopter here and it just protects that lens for you. You have, that's quite novel, you don't get to see a lot of these with the toy grade quadcopter, so that's pretty cool. You also get 4 spare propellers, a bag of screws there should you require them, a charging cable, micro USB charging cable, as well as a screwdriver. So the micro USB charging cable plugs directly into the side of the battery just up here, and you should find that you charge that without any issues whatsoever. You also get the FPV boom, which, as we've seen with a lot of others, just clicks and slots into the back, and that's it. Then your smartphone fits inside here, and it's held nice by these little rubber, little bits, top and bottom, just to ensure that your phone doesn't get scratched. To the back we have the battery bay, which requires 4 AA batteries in order for this to work. This transmitter does not allow charging of any way, shape or form, so you are going to have to ensure the batteries are fully charged or shop bought before you take this guy out. Now how much does this charger weigh? This transmitter weigh? Because it's all very well having a nice transmitter, but if it weighs too much, 189 grams. Again, that's very manageable weight for all ages, I would imagine. I certainly don't think that is heavy, and obviously this isn't the actual going out weight. You can put another couple of grams on that when you have your batteries in there, so it'll be around 200 to 210 grams, I would have thought. That feels nice, and I like that it vibrates. That's really nice, and the vibration is good as well. It's not weak. It actually, you do feel it properly, so you know exactly what is going on. Right, so what do we get all in all? So we also have an app as well that comes with this. Yes, I know, it's yet another app to go with all the other apps that you have. This app is called Wi-Fi Go. Alright, let's jump into that for a couple of seconds and see exactly what that's all about. Okay, so as I said earlier, the quadcopter looks a lot like the Syma X56, the X56W, but with optical flow. This app looks a lot like the Syma Go app as well. Right, so down the bottom you have a little tutorial video that talks you through the different quadcopters and how to turn them on and how to use them. You have English language at the top, you have help section down the bottom, and if you click start it should take you directly through to the app. Right, so you get 2 choices. Remote control controller, so if you just want to see FPV it's the top one, and if you actually want to control the quadcopter using your app, then you click app control there. So that then gives you this particular view. Now it is quite full, it is quite loud. So let's start off at the top here. We have take photo, take video, so you can alter whether you want to have 720p or VGA from this particular camera. Whether or not it'll work on all models, I'm not sure. It is just a toggle there, so it should work, but I don't know if it's going to work when you just fly in through the smartphone, or if you fly in through the transmitter as well. Then you have another button to the top here, high and low speed. Then you have 360 flip, you have your return button as well. Let's go back into app control, there we go. So you have your trim at the side for pitch, roll and yaw at the bottom as well. Then you have retrieve your files and photos. You have your Wi-Fi signal. You have on. you have automatic takeoff, automatic landing, you have flight plan, you have your settings button, your headless mode button there as well. You also have your gyro control buttons there as well, so you can automatically calibrate that gyro as soon before you take off. So that is the app control. But what if you just want to have a little look via the FPV and control it via the transmitter? So the 3D option here should give you the option to use this particular app in a FPV headset. You also have take photo, take video, again toggle between VGA and 720p camera resolutions, your back button, and then you have your Wi-Fi signal, and you also have your little files and video file manager at the bottom there as well. So this has just been a very quick look at this little app. Then what you get in the package altogether? Well, you get your quadcopter, you get your transmitter, and you get your accessory bags containing your propeller guards as well as your 4 propellers, your USB cable, extra screws as well as your little camera cover for the front there as well. So there we are, folks. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.